Alright, malicious, delicious people, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about a super old school weapon, right? And, weirdly enough, this is also going to be built in a very super old school way, right? Because, unfortunately, viral heat, which I say is actually one of the best combinations, is not going to apply here. And there actually is a reason for that. Look at this. So you go to the base, and the base has the explosion, which is like the main damage dealer, having a base of electricity. This means, unfortunately, we either have to go with Corrosive Blast with 3 mods, which is nice, or we have to go with Viral and Hunter Munitions. We're going to go with Hunter Munitions for the build that I show you guys, but the build that I'm going to recommend with you is going to be a Blast build. Essentially, just swap out Hunter Munitions for, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what you're going to switch it out for, but you do want to have a crit mod and a crit damage mod, because it does actually have some pretty good crit multipliers and some crit chance. So crit damage and crit multiplier and crit damage and crit chance is actually going to be very good. But because of the fact, you know, it's not going to be able to armor strip for itself necessarily unless you shoot directly. Like, it has single target potential, but you know, I would actually suggest shooting a big target in the face. And it's like, oh, what about, what's it called? Prime Fulmination? Unfortunately, for some reason, Prime Fulmination doesn't really work with this. For some reason, I've tested it. It doesn't raise the explosion radius for some reason. It also doesn't raise it here, which is interesting because there's another weapon that also didn't show it that actually it worked on. But this literally does not increase its range, which is super weird. But we're going to take it into an actual mission, and I'm going to show you what it do, and we're going to see what it does to an Acolyte. Alright, I'll see you there. Alright, so let's get this started. Oh, by the way, the reason why I'm doing this Shedu is actually because they asked my Discord, hey, what weapon do you want me to use? And one of my mods actually was like, oh, use this one. I also came here with the wrong URL, sorry. This is the one that's supposed to be using the board, so yeah, my bad. My bad. She does have like some pretty good stuff. What's it called? Shield regeneration, so she should be fine. Also, damn, that thing is usually hard to take out. Yeah, this actually isn't too bad. I also like built it a different way than usual, right? I thought it was bad, but the more and more I tested it, and the more I worked with it, and the more I figured out how to build it, and it's actually pretty good. Like, it's not bad. Hunting munitions is necessary, kinda, but it's actually not bad. It's actually a pretty good weapon. Yeah, I would take it to an Acolyte if I think you've seen them. Oh, actually, I want to show you this. So see when I reload from empty, it makes that big explosion? Here's the thing. I kind of sort of don't know what it does. I'll probably have to read the tooltip. But, I think it's like a guaranteed. Like, let me see. What is that? Is it just a stagger? I don't know. I'm taking it to an Acolyte before I lose my mind. Oh, he's early. Okay. Let's do this. Who are you? If you're a mania, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, thanks. Hey, Angst. Hi. How you doing? Do I go with direct damage? Yeah, I go with direct damage. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Cool. That's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Wow. The guy who told, I know, not the guy, the person who told me to do this, I'm gonna give them this build, and yeah, this is great. Actually, do they have hunter munitions? I don't know, I'll ask them later. I'll get it for them if they don't. I might have an extra copy. Anyway, let's go into the outro, and I will show you the build. See ya. Alrighty then, that was the Shedu. And keep in mind, like I said, the Shedu kind of sort of has to be built old school meta. And here's the thing, it kind of sort of needs it, because I did try to do corrosive and heat with viral primed. Just doesn't do enough damage to do that. Kind of sort of needs the hunter munitions, unfortunately. But if you're okay with that, and you have a hunter munitions, you can make this thing do really well on its own, because it's an AoE weapon that literally has unlimited ammo, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot to mention that. Sorry, it has unlimited ammo. And speaking of mentioning some things, I want to look at the unique trait. Depleting magazine creates a 20-meter explosion around the user, causing 100 impact damage and resetting damage adaptation on the sentience. This is interesting. Supposed to be a sentient killer, but that was like back in the day before they were still pass. Now they kind of started just blow past this. But these mods are really interesting as well. Magnetic Force, Rhyme Rounds, Hunting Munitions for Viral and Slash. Slash will happen 30% of the time when it crits. Keep in mind, sorry to say, there's a little bit of skewed results with the Ureli. She has a Vigilante mod on her. I think she actually might have... Does she have two? Yeah, she has some Vigilante mods on her, so she is causing a orange crit. But just remove the orange crits, and you'll be able to see like what it's doing without it. So, especially since it's only a 5% chance. So we also have Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot. More multi-shot as we kill. We're using Rifle Elementalist to make the slash damage more powerful. And we're using Speed Trigger instead of Serration, because it fires extremely slowly. Like, really, really slowly. It needs Speed Trigger. You're doing Critical Delay for the crit chance, to bring up to 75% crit chance on both the direct hit and the explosion. And we're having Vital Sense, which is US more crit damage. And we're going to be using Primary Merciless for our damage. This is such a meta nerd build, but it's kind of sort of like necessary. Keep in mind, I do have a bit of a difference, I think, and that's the fact that I'm not using Aptitude. In actuality, it's much better to go without, because it's like, I don't think it's multiplicative, but I don't know. I really kind of sort of am not in the loop with the meta, but it's I think this is definitely as meta as it's gonna get. But as a recommendation, I would say switch out the viral for some blast and put a toxin mod, and you have blast corrosive and prime for viral, and you will be able to nuke entire rooms with this weapon. It's actually kind of hilarious. What am I missing off of that though? I think I'm missing... What am I missing? Is it the multi-shot mod? No, it's not the multi-shot mod. It's the hunter munitions. Okay, you're missing the hunter munitions, so it's literally just a trade-off, right? Very, very powerful. Very, very, very bad single target. Be careful using blast with a weapon that lacks single target. Okay? Okay. So yeah, that was the build. Very nice. I hope you had wonderful, wonderful nightmares. I will see you in them. Remember, if you're watching my content, I know you're into it. Honey, honey. Good night.